Would you support this book being banned?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so you think 10-year-olds should have access to this?
I do.
Yeah.
Just
Why
like
so?
any other book.
Should this be in a public school?
Yeah, why not? What's the problem with it? Woo! That's a lot.
It's a little bit, isn't it? Yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Should this be banned?
I don't think so.
Would you be okay with your daughter having access to that in a public school?
Yes,
Okay. Why so?
because it's words on paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do these words talk about?
Sex,
Okay. What kind of sex?
oral, anal, vaginal,
Okay. And you would be what age would you be comfortable with her having access to this information?
any age.
You should be on a watch list.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know what would happen if they went into the men's restroom looking like that? Probably get raped or made comments or harassed or bullied. And I'm done with this conversation.
How do you feel about the women who don't want people like that in their restroom?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. All right, we're off to a good start. We are at a specific youth pride event in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you are new to my channel, you've never watched me, this is my alter ego, genitalia. I do not actually believe in this stuff, and I would never wear this. Anyway, I'm here to dress the part. Don't click away from the video if you're conservative. You want to be here, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Let's get going. There were recently, I think just last week, upwards of 600 books were removed from the Hillsborough County public school system. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear that, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Are you against books being banned from elementary schools, middle schools, high schools?
I am, absolutely.
Perfect. So I have some paragraphs from the banned books here that got removed from those schools, and so I'm just going to give you one.
All right.
And I'm going to let you read it. So here's this one. I'm going to let you read it until you don't want to read anymore. So go ahead.
Okay. Should I read the title of it or no?
It doesn't matter.
I remember I once... Okay. Okay. I remember I once gave a job to this guy who had a bunk bed. So he's kind of sitting up, but the ceiling is low. So she's also curved over, and I have my face in his lap, but the bed is against a wall too, so I have to bend my knees, but I'm a little too tall, so my knees are pushing into the wall. My feet are on the ceiling. His head keeps banging in the ceiling, and I'm trying to bob my head up and down. We ended up throwing a blanket on the floor and 69ing, which worked so much better, and we were able to enjoy ourselves.
Are you Dad? Okay, Dad, I'm not gonna include you in this part. Do you agree with her about the books being banned, how they should not be banned?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want you to read the beginning of this banned book for me.
Okay. He began to knead his fist against the opening of my vagina, inserted his fingers into 3 or 4 at a time. Something tore. I began to bleed there. I was wet now and made him excited. He was intrigued as he worked his whole fist into my vagina and pumped it.
Would you like to kind of join us and doing like a mock-up of people reading from his banned books?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I'll give this one to you. You can hold it. You can read the captions. This is a comic book. This is from the book called Gender Queer. Go ahead and read.
Fast forward, we've been dating for 2 months and we've made out, we've had sex, we've moved on to sexting at work. I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you until it fit it in my dildo perfectly. You are going to look so hot. Welcome to the library.
And you can keep reading until you don't want to read anymore or you get uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't feel like reading anymore.
You don't want to read anymore?
No.
Why not?
It's just, I don't feel like reading it anymore.
I can think of no better place to start Pride Month than here at Family Day.
Okay, absolutely. Family Day, Pride, Family Day. Awesome. So you know about DeSantis banning books.
Of course, yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, books are meant to be read. You know, it's getting to a real scary place when we're telling people what they should and should not read now.
Children.
Yeah,
Telling
absolutely.
children. And you don't think we should be telling children what they should and should not read?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay. I'm going to have you read from one of the banned books.
Sure.
This is Jack of Hearts and Other Parts. So here's this. And read until you're either uncomfortable or you don't want to read.
Sorry, I'm going to look stupid for holding it so close to my face, but
No,
I
you
have
won't.
bad vision.
No, it's okay.
I remember I gave a job to this guy in a bunk bed, so he's kind of sitting up, but the ceiling is low, so he's almost curved over, and I have my face in my lap. But his bed is against the wall, so I have to bend my knees. I'm a little too tall, my knees are pushing into the wall, and feet are in the ceiling, and his head keeps banging the ceiling. I'm trying to bob my head up and down. I ended up throwing a blanket on the floor and 69ing and working so much better that we're able to enjoy ourselves. Some are very specific, having their neck lick while you take me from behind, and some are so much more vague. I like you, and now you've made it talking through my erections. Finally, some tips.
You can stop whenever you want.
Oh, it's up to you.
It's up to you.
Oh, yeah, my words don't bother me.
Okay.
Use your hugs, not suck. Use your lips to pull. You're not trying to yank your dick off with your mouth. Lots trying to make it feel good. Use your tongue, lots of different ways. Ask them what works for them. Them? Okay. Use your hand, stroke off the shaft too big to swallow, or grip on his balls. Don't touch, taint, or finger his ass. Don't forget you have hands. His shit is different. And sometimes the same dick, different day is today. So always try new things, like the head, like the shaft, vice versa. Listen for the moans and the breathing. Juggle what parts of your mouth you're using and what parts you're using on the arm. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Would you be okay with your daughter having access to that in a public school?
Yes,
Okay. Why so?
because it's words on paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do these words talk about?
Sex,
Okay. What kind of sex?
oral, anal, vaginal,
Okay. And you would be, what age would you be comfortable with her having access to this information?
any age.
Speaking of Pride, my merch store, lhmerch.com, has the most amazing Pride selections you could get. American Pride, MAGA Pride, and Straight Pride, which is not welcome here at this little thing. If you want to get your Pride shirt, go to lhmerch.com, help support my work, and you get really cool merch at the same time. Win-win. See you there.
Gay men have slightly longer and thicker winkies. Excellent. The amygdala of a gay man is more responsive to porn than those of straight men. So we just have bigger dicks and we're here. Just saying. And this is The Gay Book by Juno Dawson.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's a lot. Yeah. Is this, however, for what age limit would that be? And are they not seeing the same, and if not worse, in most of the TV shows, especially the ones that are geared to teenagers?
But do we have unfettered access to those certain TV shows in public schools?
Yes, I believe we do.
Yeah. Where have you seen just random
I
TV
think I'm
shows?
going to be done with this interview, though.
Okay. So
Thank
would
you.
would you support this book being banned?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. So you think 10-year-olds should have access to
I
this?
do.
Yeah.
Just
Why
like
so?
any other book.
Do you think this should be in elementary schools and middle schools?
No, not that book.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not going to be in elementary schools.
It was.
Yeah. Well, so you're
It wasn't.
You're really on the other side, aren't you? About
What other side would I be on?
like let's ban the books.
Let's ban this book.
Yeah.
Do you think this should be banned from high schools and middle schools?
I think probably high school would be okay. Since-
Banning it should be in high schools?
Yeah, kids know about 69. They know about jobs. I mean, do I want my kids to read that? Not really.
Okay, but it should be available for someone else's kid to read.
No, I'm just saying I don't think that the government should come in and start, saying what people can and can't read.
I remember I once gave a job to this guy who had a bunk bed.
Jack of Hearts, right?
Yeah.
The book?
Yes.
Jack of Hearts. Yeah, yeah, I know what the book is.
Should that be read to children?
Who's reading it to kids?
I'm asking if it should.
That's it. Your question doesn't have any validity because you're asking a random question out of context.
Should this be read to
Should I
children?
read a Playboy magazine to children? It doesn't
No,
make sense.
I could answer that, and I
But
could
if
say
there's
no.
If there's a book and it's in a school, it's not like have you been to a school recently? My kids are in school, right? I go to the libraries, I volunteer. There are sections. They don't let the fucking little kids in the young adult section of the library. It's just not how it works. Those books are available everywhere. Taking them out of schools makes absolutely no sense because what are you protecting anybody from?
Okay.
It doesn't
You
make
don't
any
know
sense.
what a kid could
I have
end up
kids.
being exposed
I
to
have
with
kids,
that.
but kids are exposed to that kind of stuff. Have you been on the internet? Have you watched cable TV? Unless
Yeah,
you
I
put
also
your
don't
kids in
think
a
kids should have
bubble,
unfettered
if you're gonna
access to
put
the
a
internet
bubble
either.
around your kid, that's
Should
your
this
own
be in a
choice.
public school?
Yeah, why not? What's the problem with it?
What's being depicted here?
I'm a Catholic too. Like you
Oh,
picked
wow.
the wrong one. Like
No,
I
I'm
don't
a
think-
Catholic too.
I don't think any of this matters in any way, shape, or form. It's
What
about
does the
how
Catholic
you
Church
raise
teach
your
about
kids.
family?
It's about how you raise your kids.
Who's going around?
So do you think, would you be okay with your daughter reading this in a public school?
She doesn't want to ban books. I'm
Nah.
just going to tell you what's going
Gotcha,
on here.
yeah.
And yeah, you're on camera now.
Would you be okay with her reading that?
Yeah, and you know what? We just looked up that book, and that isn't even in the book You are so inauthentic.
Oh, it's not in the book.
Exactly.
So you
Yeah,
looked
if you
up.
look up the review.
Yeah.
It says there's nothing about sex spoken in there. It says fade to black. or
Oh, okay.
something. Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to do a
okay.
different one?
Oh, okay. You know what?
This book is called Genderqueer. Do you want to do that one?
You're so inauthentic, and that's why I don't like people like you
Okay.
and DeSantis and Trump. Okay?
You're
Because-
okay with books being in schools for children to access that talk about sex, masturbation, and very, very confusing gender stuff. They literally parked. Look. They parked on the side in the middle of the street. In the middle of the street to get out. When you expose these people and you like challenge their belief system and have them actually look at what they support, they get insane enough to where they stop in the middle of the street on a public road and get out of their car. We're keeping her off on our own accord because we don't think that she should hear this stuff.
Okay.
And we don't think that she should have access to this in public
Why not?
schools.
Why not?
I don't think children should have access to things about
Why?
oral sex
Why not?
because it goes against parental rights.
Why? Why does it go? But my rights are not to read it in the house.
Yeah, so you can get it in your house and read it to her for bedtime.
Yeah, I could.
Since your shirt says read banned books,
Yeah.
I have paragraphs from the banned books
No
here
way.
today. I would love for you to read one
Sure.
to the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. Which one do you want me to read?
This one right here, you can hold it.
Okay. All right. My swell up, think daddy. Daddy, sick me, disgust me, but still he sex me up. I'm nauseous in my stomach, but hot tight in my and I think I want it back. The smell of the bedroom, the hurt, he slapped my face till it sting, and my
You can read until you're done, or you could read the whole thing, or until you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's okay. So what are you guys doing this all for?
We're just having people read the
Right.
banned books.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So let's see. He slapped my face till it sting, and my ears sing separate songs from each other. Call me names, put in and out, and all I come. Woo! That's a lot.
It's a little bit, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Should this be banned?
I don't think so.
It is for the parent to decide whether to take a kid into a movie or not. It's a parent's responsibility.
Exactly.
And there are certain things that, depending on the situation, one child needs one piece of information, another one needs another piece of information.
What type of situation would a child need a piece of information about how the amygdala of gay men is more responsive, so that makes their dicks bigger and makes them weird?
I do not know.
You think that a kid should have access to this, though?
I think that the parent should make the decision about whether that's appropriate or not.
So what about the parents who voted for DeSantis overwhelmingly in this state, and he ran on banning these books from public schools? Did the parents speak up?
People need to start tolerating different beliefs but not tolerate bullying.
What does the Catholic Church
Catholicism is
teach about
morality.
family?
It's about teaching your children to love and care about everybody. Treat everybody
Okay.
the way you want to be treated. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal.
Yeah. What's it
That's
say
it.
about marriage?
That's it. I don't care. Who cares about marriage?
You're a Catholic. You should care what the church says about
Why?
marriage.
No, I don't. Why do I have to care? Because the church
Because you
says
are a
it.
Catholic.
So what? I'm also.
are obligated to follow
I'm
church
also an American,
teachings.
and I don't. It doesn't matter to me what other countries do. I'm a
So you
Catholic.
disagree
so
with the
what?
church?
I disagree with a lot of the church's teaching, yeah, because I don't think that's the point of church. Organized religion is a scam and has been twisted over the years.
Why do you say you're a Catholic then?
To give you a perspective that just because we're raised with that mentality doesn't mean that you can't grow up and realize it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
What you're
So
trying to
I
do
think
is
that it's
you're trying to
weird
push
to
your
allow this to
agenda
be.
and make other people feel bad about themselves because you're like, well, this is in your kid's school. Do you want your kids reading this?
Do you?
Well, I don't care.
So you would sit down with your kids at bedtime and
I would-
show them this comic
I
book.
wouldn't read it to them at bed, but I would show it to them if it came up. If my kids brought to me and say, "Hey, I saw my friend reading this," I would explain it to them.
Okay, so
Why
if
hide
they
things
saw
like
their
this? What are you
friend
hiding
doing
them
drugs,
from?
would you explain how to use a heroin needle?
It's not the same thing. Your question is silly.
It's
No.
exactly the same thing.
It's good to have opposing points of view.
Yeah, and talking about gay sex.
It's okay. She's going to hear things like this at some point. You know that, right?
Should we protect her from that as long as we
No.
can?
What are we protecting?
Yeah.
What words am I protecting my daughter from?
It's not words; they're ideas
What
and
ideas-
images in her head.
What ideas am I protecting my daughter from?
Stuff about sex, stuff that is confusing for a child to listen to about
Why is it confusing?
oral sex.
Why is it confusing?
You don't think it's confusing for a 5-year-old to hear about oral sex?
I don't think it's confusing. I don't think it's appropriate, but I don't think it's confusing.
It's not confusing. Why? I don't even feel comfortable talking about this where she can hear me.
Okay.
And that's insane. Like, she's not even my daughter, and I care more about what her ears are exposed to regarding things about sex or sexuality.
I think it's horrible that we would limit the First Amendment to certain groups of people or certain topic matters because they make certain people feel uncomfortable.
Where is this showing that it's actually in the public schools?
This is a list. This is a document compiled by CDF, which is Citizens Defending Freedom. It's right on their website.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, these are in Florida public schools.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Is it interesting enough to ban it?
I mean, I guess it's all, there's so many other kids' books and stuff that are in there that they definitely should choose which ones are right.
You should stand up for those children. If you are against bullying, you should stand up for children and champion them, for these kids that don't have a voice, that should not be exposed to stuff like this.
And you're proving why I don't trust you.
Okay, that's fine. I don't trust you either. Yeah, they're not.
Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know they're not a part of your science. We're not either.
Can you describe the images being depicted here?
It's not something that should be put in schools, no.
Okay.
At least, I mean, not anybody who's under the age of, like, anybody who's in middle school or younger shouldn't be reading this, honestly, but in high school, I don't see a problem with it.
You think like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old in 9th grade should read that? Have access to this?
I don't necessarily see a problem with that, just because a lot of kids in high school are going to be opened with people talking about sex around them anyways, and I mean, I don't necessarily see a problem with it, because a lot of kids around them are going to be talking about how they're having sex constantly and how they're doing this, how they're going out, how they're talking to this girl, talking to that guy, such and such.
Okay, so since the kids are doing it anyway, might as well just kind of include graphic images of masturbation, and
they're gonna have honest stuff on the internet anyways. I don't see necessarily a problem.
Do you think it's a parental discussion and a parental right for their children not to be exposed to this without consent?
I would say if they want to get a book access to like that, then they need to get a paper to sign that their parent is okay with them reading that.
So pro-censorship means anti-liberty, right?
So liberty means having the parental right to choose what your kids are exposed to.
Liberty doesn't...
And liberty is freedom. Freedom from being confused about these ideologies and these things in these books. I'm so disappointed in you.
Our Constitution, which by the way I defended, our Constitution is designed systematically to protect the picking on the weak. You see, picking on the strong.
And you want to pick on them by giving them things about sex that confuse them and lead them into a lifestyle where they're interested in this, and they might want to engage in this before they should, which leads them into situations, especially looking online at these things and looking at these things online or other books, and then maybe getting into chat logs and getting into a community that abuses children.
No, because I monitor what my kids do online. I observe what chat rooms they may or may not get into.
They shouldn't be in any chat rooms, that's the point. Anyway, we're gonna move on to other people.
In a true democracy, we all sacrifice a little bit of our individual
You should be on a watch list.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I fought for your freedom.
Then fight for your daughter.
They don't give a shit about any of this stuff.
So this is a
part of the problem.
Okay, no, I'm not part of the problem. Did you know?
Part of the problem.
This is Pope Benedict, right?
The problem.
So Pope Benedict of the Catholic Church. There's a quote from a pope. Do you wanna read it? Just so we are clear, here is a quote from Pope Benedict. States are called to enact policies promoting the centrality and the integrity of the family, founded on marriage between a man and a woman, the primary vital cell of society, and to assume responsibility for its economic and fiscal needs while respecting its essentially rational character. Fellow Catholics, if you were going around promoting stuff and saying this is okay for children to be exposed to, it's not. Is this what you like about DeSantis, that he's removing this from public schools?
I mean, I don't see why children should be reading that.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
you're like the first person to say that.
I think too many people are not reasonable and way right or way left, and maybe we should just make sense.
Yeah, you're the first person to say, like, no, that should not be in a public school.
Again, it should be up to the parents to decide what their kids read.
You're gonna have to read stuff.
Hey, wait a second. Wait a second.
I'm on her side.
What do you think about these books in public
This
schools?
is not appropriate. It's pornographic content. Kids shouldn't be exposed to kids.
I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
And I forgive you.
I'm not sorry, dude.
Yeah, I'm undercover.
I'm not sorry. How's it going out here?
Anyway, one of the organizers inside recognized me and her and started interrupting our interview saying they're MAGA journalists. They're going to try to get you in a gotcha moment. So if they recognized me, they're going to recognize her.
I know. We've got to go in.
And, they didn't kick me out, to be fair.
Yeah.
I left just so they won't bother me out here.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. Not
What
very
are you
tolerant
asking
of
people?
the tolerant party.